Pro Boxing fans here with Tunde Ajayi. Tunde, it's been a minute since I've seen you, man. How's things? How's life? How's boxing treating you?
You see this? You see, if the trainer's like this, can you imagine what the fighters? Free, left foot. How you doing, my man? Nah, sorry, I'm messing back.
Right. How's things? How's life?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. We're here. It's fight week. Anthony Yarde returns back into the ring after nearly 11 months out. Been a bit of a frustrating one for you guys. I know you've been waiting for that big fight. Everything was announced, confirmed. Unfortunately, in boxing, things like this can happen. But you crack along. You know you've got a fight for now on Saturday night. But frustrating in 2022 for you guys.
Frustration is a word that you use when you don't believe everything is timing. Everything is timing. You know, the main thing is you don't focus on things that you can't control. And in that respect, it's been great for us. It's given us time to continue to get better, because you get better with time as long as you're doing the right thing. And there's no frustration. We're just working.
Obviously, on Saturday night, you've got a valid opponent in Koykov, but I'll speak to Anthony beforehand. This is probably going to be one of the fights where he's going to have to dust off the cobwebs. He has been a little bit of time outside the ring, put in a great performance last time around, but he has been a long time out of the ring. Is this what it is, dusting off the cobwebs? Make sure you get that win, trying to avoid any injuries, and just crack on to the big one after this.
These journalistic words you're using, cobwebs and all these things. Sorry, you're making me use the bruv terminology. I don't believe in cobwebs. I don't believe in ring rust. I don't believe in none of that stuff. I believe that we're professionals, consummate professionals. Anthony Yarde is a consummate professional. He lives the gym. He's got a pillowcase, sleeping bag, inflatable bed. Everything is in the gym. And you don't look at things like that. Well, I don't look at things like that. It's always an opportunity to get better. So, yes, it has been 11 months. But you'll see on Saturday night that he's got better since he last fought.
Getting better since last fought, it's going to be quite hard because he was fantastic in that fight. Obviously, I was saying to him that, you know, one day you can be the flavour of the month, and then the next day you can get rejected by everyone. That's boxing for you, unfortunately. You know better than anyone else. You get your haters, you get people that like you. In the aftermath of the first fight today, a lot of people are questioning you as well. So I do want to talk to you about this, because I've not seen you for a little while anyway. We've not had the opportunity to talk. But a lot of people are saying, it's Anthony Yarde, he needs to move away from Tunde. For him to become a world champion, he needs to move away from Tunde, get an experienced coach. You've obviously since then beat Lyndon Arthur. That's quieted down a little bit, but still, in a big fight coming up, the same talks come on online. What do you want to say to them people?
Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. That's it. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. You know, listen. The only thing that can really affect you is the thing that's in your own mind. And as long as you are confident in what you're doing, as long as you put out your best effort, your best work, then it's going to be what it's going to be. I've got no control over people who come. Who are these people? I always like to know, like, you say there's people, but who are they? Are they the people that have accounts with no face, no picture? I need to know. I need to know who these guys are, because I just don't pay no attention. And that's the honest truth. I feel that my study on great athletes and boxers in particular is that they stay focused. And it's remember, life is polarity. It's up, down, left, right, positive, negative. And I feel that if you don't realize that there's always going to be another side, a side that people that don't like you, then you're going to be forever pulling out your hair. I just don't focus on it. I only focus on the positive stuff, the great stuff. And the things that's negative, they actually, it's like the alchemist. Like, I'm using that to drive me even more. So the more you hate me, the more it inspires me to it inspires my will. It makes me work harder.
But have you, obviously, in any life, any walk of life, any business, any work that you do, you always want to improve. Since that Kovalev fight, since the Lindenroth first fight, as a trainer yourself, I'm sure you've looked for ways of improvement to make sure yourself, Anthony, whoever else you sort of train, improve with you. Has that been the case since these losses as well?
Well, going back to the question about people wanting and to find another trainer, a more experienced trainer. If Anthony was, let's say, if he was soft in the head, if he was a person that listened to the outside and let the outside opinions affect him, then we wouldn't be here. And in terms of improvement, let's get it right. Me and Anthony have been together from the beginning, from the start, from amateurs. A lot of people don't realize I trained Anthony for 18, almost 24 months before he turned professional. So I didn't just start training when he turned professional. I was training him unpaid, just because I believe in him, but just because he believes in me from before he turned professionals. But I don't want to lose this point. Within 4 years of a professional with no Olympic background, no ABA medals or anything like that, Anthony Yarde challenged, arguably, the most feared light heavyweight, the Ring Magazine, 2-time Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year in Sergey Kovalev, and almost had him out there. I was the trainer at that point. That was for one belt. Fast forward, now we're in the year 2022, Anthony Yarde is about to challenge for 3 belts. So you do the maths. You don't do less and get more. You do more and get more. So it's quite obvious that Anthony's worked harder than the Kovalev, the time in Russia, and it's quite obvious that I've worked harder in my own, and that's the great thing about myself and Anthony. We've never ever blamed one another. Never. That blame game thing, I don't advise nobody to do that. If you want to progress in life, always think about how you can be better. And it's such a blessing to be around a young man that understands that. I always say Anthony's his wisdom belies his age, because I know that. I've known that from when I was a youth. Sorry, I've known that from so can take him out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of him. But no matter how much we try to butter it up with nice Queen's English, but that's one thing I love about Anthony, and I just feel that our work ethic, our belief, our dedication to the sport has now put us in a position where after Saturday night we have the opportunity to create history before the fight has even happened. Because again, you tell me, you're an interviewer, you've been in this sport for a long time. Can you remember a trainer with no big background, a fighter with no big background, challenging for a unified world title? Tell me, if you can name, because usually somebody's more experienced. Usually the fighter might be inexperienced, but the trainer's more experienced. But 2 people who started this journey together now have the opportunity to seal the deal and get that fight cracking, and the fight will be spoken about and taken care of after Saturday night, because Saturday night is very, very serious.
Yeah, and obviously I don't want to look past that, but even on the top table, it talks about Bertspier. We're not looking past him. I looked at the opponent, looks in fantastic shape. Looks like he's got a good knockout ratio, good winning record. So he's coming to fight on Saturday night. He's here to support the party. Artur Beterbiev, though, the man that everyone's talking about. Obviously, we've seen Bivol put on a masterclass a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
But Artur Beterbiev is the man in focus right now. Talk to me about what you've seen over. You were at his last fight. I'm sure you've sort of researched, had a look at his last couple of fights. What do you see in Artur Beterbiev where you think there's chinks in the armour?
I'll tell you after Saturday night.
You just want to talk about the fight on Saturday. I get that. Okay, I totally get that. And we will talk after Saturday night. We will talk a lot more about Beterbiev. But I do want to talk now about Bivol. I'm sure we can talk about that. A couple of weeks ago, fought Zurdo Ramirez in a good fight, and at that point, a lot of people were saying Ramirez should be able to give him problems, but we saw Bivol step up the gears more and to put on a masterclass. What did you make of his performance in Abu Dhabi?
I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched it. I ain't watched it. I do that thing where when Anthony Yarde is fighting, everything else shuts down. You realise I didn't do the fighters right with my co-host Spencer Fearon. He done the watch along on his own because he knows this how I take the sport, and especially when Anthony's fighting. I take this thing with my life. It's me in there, And so I haven't watched his performance. I can't wait to do a little bit of catch up after Saturday night because I've got a few fights to watch. But Bivol, if we go back to when we went to Atlantic City to watch Sergey Kovalev versus Elder Alvarez, the second one, I said to the reporters at that night, when nobody was talking about Bivol, but I said he was the best fighter on the night. He was the one that I was most impressed with. Because I love speed. I love speed, and he's got speed, and he's a great boxer, and I wish him all the best. And you never know, we may lock horns one day.
I do want to move away quickly, ask you a few of the questions, and I'm going to let you go. Your friend, somebody that you've known for a little while, in Floyd Mayweather, you obviously worked out there in the gym in the past. Pushing himself out for exhibition fights, fought Deji on the weekend.
I heard about that.
There's talks about him and Ricky Hatton getting into the ring. What do you make of all these exhibition fights that Floyd's doing right now?
I want him to stop. But the man's got bills to pay. I want him to stop. It's a sign, getting cut in his face and all those by YouTubers and that. Boxing, as much as it is exhibition stuff, sometimes, they're fighters. A man hit you, you're like, nah, I ain't letting that happen. And you swing. And boxing is not a game to be played at. And it's all right when both guys know it's an exhibition, but still, when you're an ex-fighter, because it's different when you're a YouTuber doing an exhibition of a boxing match, because you don't know what it's like to be a fighter, to make weight, to do these things. But when you're a fighter, there's that killer instinct. And he's 45 now, I believe, Floyd. Yeah, and I just want him to ride off into the sunset, which he has done in boxing, but who knows? I don't know his financial position outside.
What do you make of all the YouTubers coming into the game? Someone like Jake Paul, KSI's fought two guys in one night. Jake Paul's doing his thing, massive views, big views when these guys get onto the stage. But what do you make of them within the circle that you've loved and you've grown up in?
It's great, man. I'll have a fight. I go,
give me the money.
Yeah, come Jake Paul, I'm ready. I'm ready. Why not? It's good. Anything that highlights boxing, I think it is good for the sport. Obviously, you see boxers getting involved as well, so it's a sport I love. I just feel sometimes, I do feel that we're in danger of it discrediting the sport a little bit, of professional boxing. Because now it's like, because the numbers are so high, which is what it's all about at the end of the day, a big fight, a historic fight like Anthony Yarde versus Artur Beterbiev, the casual fan who in the past will take boxing seriously and get ready for a knockout will be thinking their mindset is akin to a YouTube exhibition white collar fight, and I think that's dangerous.
Is boxing to blame for that? Look, we've tried to make super fights in boxing. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, we've heard the talks for ages. Nothing's going on. Errol Spence Jr., Crawford, the big fights just don't seem to be happening. Is boxing sort of at its own downfall at times like this, where a casual fan would watch them fights? Boxing's not providing them fights. So the people who are casuals are maybe turning over, looking at these other fights, and maybe they've found an attraction to them fights. But has boxing been at its own downfall in the last year, 18 months?
Well, I'm not in their position, so far be it for me to give an outside opinion. But the fighters are fighters. How comes we can make fights? How comes Anthony Yarde can make a big fight? So I'm sure promoters want the guys to fight. So it's the fighters. The fighters have to fight. The fighters have to. You can't look at individual situations and blame the whole of boxing. That's not right. that's not right. And I just feel that it's the fighters. The fighters have got to say, I'm fighting. Yeah. Whether you got the best promoter, the best lawyer, the best manager, it's all to do with the fighter. But, listen, cash is king.
Final two from myself, actually. A good friend of yours, Dillian Whyte, is back in the ring next week against Jermaine Franklin. A lot of talk about early next year, provided he beats Franklin, that rematch with Anthony Joshua. Eddie Hearn's been talking about. What do you make of that? Do you feel like Dillian's in a good place this time around to face Joshua and vice versa?
Dillian Whyte deserves everything he gets. A great young man, helped a lot of people from his own environment, and I wish him nothing but the best. If he gets that fight, I hope he gets paid well, and he's in with a chance. Because one thing we know about Dillian, putting aside the last fight, he always gives it 100%. So I'll be happy for Dillian if he gets that fight.
Final one for myself. I'm not sure if you're aware, but Simon Jordan from Talk Sport, somebody who's been vocal around the sport for a little while now, has talked about dabbling into the sport, maybe getting involved as a manager, maybe a promoter. I was listening to it just right now. They were talking about him buying a football club. He said, no, you know what, I want to focus on boxing. Maybe, buy a company, maybe manage, do whatever. What do you make of Simon Jordan and his potential inclusion into boxing?
Well, I don't know too much about Simon Jordan, but I wish him all the best. I wish him all the best. I just love boxing, and I feel that it's great if you've got people who are coming from different arenas, who have a voice, because he's got a powerful voice. I mean, I've never even listened to him like that, other than the fact I've been to the studio with Anthony, and he's interviewed Anthony on a number of occasions. But he's got a powerful voice, and it brings numbers, it generates interest. So if that's what Simon Jordan wants to do, let's do it.
Well, Tunde, I've taken up a lot of your time. I do appreciate you talking to us. I know you're busy with Anthony and also your own YouTube podcast with Spencer Fear on The Fight Is Right. Obviously, I'm sure people will go and watch that if they haven't watched it already, which they probably have. But good luck on Saturday night. No doubt I'll speak to you very soon. And yeah, man, after that, we do want to talk about Otabia. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, man.